So without any fuss, I'd like to introduce our first speaker this morning, Julia Knaggs. Julia is the president of the Tennessee State FFA, and she attends the University of Tennessee. So let's give a big Tennessee welcome to Julia Knaggs.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Julia Knaggs, and I'm currently serving as the Tennessee FFA State President. I am honored to welcome you here to Nashville and the volunteer state of Tennessee, as well as to be here representing the nearly 14,000 members of the Tennessee FFA Association. We are just one state chartered by the National FFA organization, with over 650,000 student members and 8,500 chapters nationwide, and in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, we are the nation's largest youth-led organization. Through agricultural education and leadership opportunities, we are able to grow leaders, build communities, and strengthen agriculture for generations to come. Speaking of some of those opportunities, several of my state officer teammates and I actually just returned from the International Leadership Seminar for State Officers. For the past several years, this conference has been held in the beautiful Rainbow Nation of South Africa. While we were there, we were able to tour a crocodile farm, an ostrich farm, an apple orchard, and many other diverse agricultural operations. While these sites were definitely interesting, one of the most striking aspects of the trip occurred as soon as we arrived in Cape Town. When we got to the hotel, we were informed that the Western Cape is experiencing a severe water shortage, with the taps expected to run dry by April if the region doesn't receive more rain. While our travel group definitely struggled to adapt to taking 2-minute showers every night, the drought had the most obvious impact on the Western Cape's farmers. At that apple orchard I mentioned earlier, the farmer had to make severe cuts to his irrigation. As a result, the apples were much smaller than usual, and most of them had been damaged by the sun. He said that in case of emergency, the Western Cape's farmers would be the first to have their water shut off in order to maintain the urban water supply. Despite these difficulties, that farmer and the other farmers we met remained hopeful. Through their conservation efforts, they maintain the hope of a brighter future. The environmental issues we experience in the Western Cape are not too far off from some of those we may see in certain regions of the United States. However, the major difference that I and my fellow FFA members noticed is the lack of help they receive from their government and dedicated conservation groups. We in the United States are so lucky to have groups such as yourself that advocate for conservation and make preserving natural resources at every level their primary goal. FFA members have also taken notice of the importance of conservation and are ready to assume the leadership roles needed to create a more sustainable future. With 24% of high school agricultural education programs offering some sort of environment-related course, and several project and competition areas in environment-related fields, FFA is equipping students with the knowledge and skills needed to be better stewards of our land. Agriculture is nothing without our land, and our land becomes nothing without the leaders who seek to preserve it. It is for this reason that FFA members are so passionate about preserving our nation's food, fiber, and natural resources systems. We are also extremely grateful for the National Association of Conservation Districts and the fact that they've seen FFA's interest in conservation and have sought out youth engagement. This past Friday, members of the executive board were able to help the McGavick FFA chapter assemble raised beds for classroom instruction right here in Metro Nashville. Knowing some of the students and the teachers at this program, this will be an incredible opportunity for students of so many diverse backgrounds to explore soil and water conservation through hands-on learning. We hope that this service project will encourage future partnerships between conservation district leaders and local FFA chapters. On behalf of the Tennessee FFA Association and the National FFA Organization, I thank you for the privilege of speaking here today. We appreciate your dedication to such a worthy cause, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your time here in Nashville. Thank you.